What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I figured I had to address this coming off the heels of the Carl Froch Miguel Kessler Part 2. I'm noticing something, it's almost an epidemic in the boxing communities. As you guys know, I'm on the YouTube boxing community and other boxing forums. Try to stay in tune with the sport, Twitter, all the social medias. Um, but what I'm noticing is a pattern amongst fighters and also their fans nowadays where, based on a fighter's popularity or favoritism or the fan base of a fighter, they think that that alone automatically warrants certain fights or certain demands to be met. And I don't know, I guess I'm just more so from the old school of watch boxing for a while before it had all these belts and that kind of thing. So I personally don't get it. So I just wanted to take some time to explore that, talk about some recent things in the sport of boxing. One example would be Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather. Canelo Alvarez versus Floyd Mayweather. Do I want to see this fight? Yes. Do I think it'll be a good fight? Yes. I mean, it's youth and strength versus experience and just ring generalship and that kind of thing. So it would be a good match, and I want to see it. Hopefully, they don't have any problems and they can arrive at a weight that makes sense. However, sometimes these fans are getting involved in saying that Mayweather is a bitch or he's a pussy because he fought 2 times at 154 if he chooses not to move up to fight Canelo at 154. Yet, Canelo doesn't have to move up to face Gennady Golovkin or Sergio Martinez or anybody else, and he's naturally a big guy. I mean, he came in at 172 his last fight. So, I really don't understand that. I take nothing away from Canelo. He's a young fighter, and for his age, I mean, he's definitely improving and he's doing what he has to do. He puts asses in the seats. Huge fan base. You guys seen that in San Antonio, Texas. He has a huge fan base, and he's an entertaining fighter. However, I don't think he's done enough in the sport to make the demands that he makes. Against a fighter like Josecito Lopez, sure, because he is the bigger draw out of the two. Josecito Lopez earned his biggest paycheck against Canelo. Before that would probably be like a Victor Ortiz fight, but Josecito Lopez was relatively unknown. So someone like Canelo, who's a huge star in Mexico and becoming a bigger star in the States, it makes sense for Josecito to submit to whatever Canelo wants because that's the biggest payday of Josecito's career. However, when you put it in perspective, Canelo versus Mayweather, it's a little bit different because Mayweather is the pound for pound king. We all know this. He's the highest paid athlete of all sports, making 90 million this year, and he's, in my opinion, he has more of a solid resume and he's done more. He's been in the sport. He's been relevant in the sport 16, 17 years. So it doesn't really make sense for him to submit to Canelo's demands. When Floyd Mayweather wasn't the cash cow before he catapulted his career to what it is today, Oscar De La Hoya was the man. Oscar De La Hoya had been fighting everybody. He was America's poster child, and he was the pay-per-view cash cow. So naturally, after Mayweather beat Baldomir, he wanted to fight Oscar De La Hoya, who again was the man at the time. And guess what? Oscar De La Hoya called the shots, and that's just how it goes. Oscar De La Hoya picked the ring size, probably the location, he picked the glove size. He fought at the weight that he wanted to fight, which was 154, which forced Mayweather to move up to face him. And to me, that makes more sense. If you're the man and you've established yourself, like Oscar De La Hoya had established himself as a pay-per-view guy, Mayweather has currently established himself as a pay-per-view draw. Canelo has not. He has not headlined his own pay-per-view as of right now. He puts asses in the seats. It'll be a good fight. I take nothing away from that. However, I don't think it's owed that Mayweather needs to submit to any of his demands. Fast forward to currently, Carl Froch. He just beat Mikael Kessler. He evened the score. They're talking about possibly doing a stalemate fight. I personally, I mean, I would watch it because these guys go at it, but I don't think that needs to happen in the near future. There's other fights that I'd rather see with Carl Froch, Bernard Hopkins at a catchweight. I'd even like to see a Andre Ward rematch over Mikael Kessler 3, or the winner of Butte and Jean Pascal maybe. So there's other matches I think Carl Froch can get in. He shows he has a chin and he has a heart, But the reason that I'm comparing the Canelo Mayweather to the Carl Froch is because after the fight, Carl Froch stated that if it's not Mikhail Kessler, he would like to rematch Andre Ward, but have Andre Ward come to the UK. Now, if Team Ward and Team Froch can get together and do business and it makes sense for Andre Ward to come to the UK, that's fine. But what I'm reading is fans are saying that Andre Ward's a bitch if he doesn't come to the UK and he needs to come to the UK. If not, he's scared. And it's just like, I don't understand some of you guys' logic. Like, where do you get off in saying that? What does Andre Ward? He already beat the dude. He already beat Carl Froch. He already beat the guy that Froch beat yesterday. He already beat Kessler. He pretty much wiped out his division. So I don't really see Carl Froch. Some people are saying he has more star power, more drawing power. So Andre Ward needs to fight him there. I've also read people say stuff like Carl Froch came to Ward's backyard to fight him. That's false. I live about 30 minutes away from Andre Ward, and that's in Oakland, California. I'm out here in the Bay Area, so he lives about 30 minutes away. The Super 6 tournament took place in New Jersey, in Atlantic City, New Jersey, so that's not his backyard. I mean, that's a different coast. I'm on the West Coast. He's on the West Coast. So when he fought Chad Dawson, that was in his backyard. He actually fought at the Oracle in Oakland. That's his backyard. So Chad Dawson came to his backyard, but Carl Froch didn't come to his backyard. Carl Froch fought him in the States because he's American, and that's where Showtime held the Super 6 tournament. But, I mean, Carl Froch can't use that as a scapegoat. Like, oh, I fought him in the States. I mean, that's because that's where boxing is big. I'm not saying boxing isn't big in the UK, but most people come to the States for superstardom to catapult to the next level. Manny Pacquiao, the Gennady Golovkin. I mean, Gennady Golovkin, you don't see him staying in Kazakhstan and trying to fight. Pacquiao wasn't fighting in the Philippines and getting all the fame that he got in Nike endorsement deals. He came to the States. It's the land of opportunity. The only fighter that I can even think of off the top of my head that really doesn't makes an attempt not to travel to the States is maybe someone like Chris John, who stays in Indonesia for whatever reason. But Carl Froch did what he had to do to be a part of a tournament. But again, it wasn't in Andre Ward's backyard. And again, I don't see him having the leverage based only on the fact that you may think he has more star power. And at the end of the day, that's a speculation because Andre Ward is a commentator on HBO, so a lot more people are seeing his face. He is an Olympic gold medalist, etc., etc. He's undefeated. So realistically, I don't even know if Carl Froch is a bigger draw. I know UK stands by their fans, and they have some great fans. That was present during the Ricky Hatton-Floyd Mayweather fight because Ricky Hatton had fans that flew from the UK to Vegas to watch that fight. So, I mean, UK fans are great and great for the sport because they're very dedicated and they cheer on their person. Most like any other country, but UK, since this video is referring to Carl Froch. So that's my point. I mean, basically, I don't see a reason. I'm not saying if business makes sense to make it happen, do it. If it makes sense for Ward to go to the UK, perfect. Set it up. I would watch it. However, some of these fans and fighters are thinking it's owed to them. Like, you owe me because I fought in New Jersey. You must come face me in my hometown. Like, I don't understand that logic, especially when Ward already clearly beat Froch. He clearly beat the guy that Froch beat yesterday, Kessler. He beat everyone. He beat everybody in his division that was pretty much ranked, except for like Stieglitz or something. So realistically, I don't see it owed. It's similar to if I had a son and somebody kidnapped my son and they said, hey, if you want your son back, you have to pay me $10,000 ransom. At that point, I pretty much have to submit. They have something that I want, that I need back. I really have to submit to their demands. Like, I'm not going to be trying to call the shots when I'm trying to get my son back. Like, unfortunately, I would have to pay the ransom in that situation. I'm not really in a position of power. I'm not in a position where I have any kind of leverage unless I had some kind of collateral. And I think that I've noticed a lot of fans and fighters who really aren't in the driver's seat like they think they are, and they're the ones with the demands. Like, if you look at Brandon Rios versus Manny Pacquiao, Manny Pacquiao is a certified pay-per-view star. He's an international superstar, knocked out or not. He's established himself as that. He's been on Hennessy commercials, Nike commercials, Jimmy Kimmel's, all kinds of stuff. He's established as a pay-per-view star. However, his November opponent, Brandon Rios, is not. Brandon Rios has a decent fan base. He's been in good fights. He only has one loss. Great. However, he has never headlined a pay-per-view before. So, realistically, Brandon Rios, if he wants a big fight with a big fight with Pacquiao, his biggest payday of his career, most likely he's going to have to agree to Pacquiao's terms, and it looks like that's what he's doing. Team Pacquiao wants USADA drug testing, and Brandon Rios has to comply. He wants that shot, he wants that big payday, and he has to comply. Robert Guerrero versus Mayweather, or Victor Ortiz versus Mayweather. He wanted the drug test, they complied. They want that shot. They want that $2-3 million payday that they've never received. So, realistically, fighters like Canelo or Carl Froch wanting an Andre Ward rematch, again, if he already beat you, Andre Ward already beat you, why does he have to fight where it's comfortable for you? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't think Carl Froch at that point is in the driver's seat. And if he really wants the rematch, then do like Amir Khan did. And actually, Amir Khan was the belt holder, so you got to give props to Amir Khan, because Amir Khan versus Lamont Peterson, that's another prime example of going to a fighter's backyard. He went to D.C. Amir Khan is from the U.K., went all the way to D.C. and fought Lamont Peterson, and he was the title holder. He was the champion. That, you don't have to do that. And unfortunately, he lost that fight, but like I said, you don't have to do that. So that's optional. So if Amir Khan didn't do that, I wouldn't say Amir Khan's a bitch or he's scared of Lamont Peterson, because he's the champion and he chose not to fight in Peterson's backyard. Because realistically, I'm sure Amir Khan might even regret going to DC to fight Peterson, because it was a close, controversial fight. Some people thought Khan won, some people thought Peterson won. So that's one of the risks you take. Not even that you can't beat the guy, but at the same time, what are the judges going to see? The judges might not give you a fair shake. So realistically, I think fighters and fans need to realize when they're in the driver's seat, when they're in positions of power, when they have the leverage to call the shots. And sometimes they don't. And I'm noticing a trend where a lot of times they don't, but they think based on their fan base or draw or star power that automatically he must fight me. I mean, there's other fights for Andre Ward. Stiglitz, he can fight people at 175. There's other things he can do other than Carl Froch. I think Bika is his mandatory. So that's just my thoughts. Like I said, work your way up, earn your stripes, and earn that right to call the shots before you start making all these demands, and at least be in the same position of power before you make those demands. That's my thoughts. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think of this subject. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.